Hi, it's Trish. Welcome to In Spite of Because of. It's now, today is March 2nd, and it's a perfect time to talk to you about my February favorites. I keep saying February, like with a V, February favorites. I have 5 things that I want to share with you for February. Many of those things have come in really in this last week. My son and I both had a horrible cold, and so I want to share some things that really helped us get through it, and some other things that I just have really enjoyed that I wanted to share. So I'm going to start with those things first. One of those things is the e.l.f. Lip Exfoliator. I bought this at Target, and I've heard other YouTubers talk about, I've heard other YouTubers talk about it as well, and I was always kind of like, I would just kind of use some baking soda and, a washcloth, a damp washcloth, to get any kind of excess skin off. But this is really amazing. I have to highly recommend it, especially in these cold months, or if you've had a cold recently. I think that it's amazing. I believe it was $3 maybe. So check it out, or try it out. The other thing that I've been wearing in several of my videos, the new lip routine sort of, would be, which I wouldn't have really thought that this would have worked out to be such a nice combination. I'm wearing it now, but it's the NYX retractable lip liner, and this is in the color Jewel. And then I have from e.l.f., I love e.l.f. because it's cheap, of course, is called Pout Perfector, and it's just called Glow. Now when I wear it, what I did is I just lined all of my lips with this, after exfoliated, which really helps. And then I put this on, and I put this Pout Perfector over it. This Pout Perfector has some great, I don't want to say chunks of glitter, but like a golden kind of glow to it. But if your lips are dry at all, it really clings to any dry patches. So definitely do the exfoliator first. Now once I put that on, my lips were still just a little bit dry, so then I went over it with another gloss, which I don't normally think of gloss on top of gloss, but this is the e.l.f. Hyper Shine lip gloss, and this just looks great on everything, and it feels so good on your lips. It goes great. It's just a clear color. It goes great on top of every color you have, or sometimes I just wear it by itself just for a little sheen on your natural lip color. So those are things that I really have enjoyed in February a lot. Something else is kind of out of the box here. This is a spatula, which what's so special about a spatula? This one I believe I got for Christmas. And no, this was my birthday, I think, back in October. So it's, on the one hand, it's just a normal, it's the Calphalon brand. It's just a normal spatula. But on the other hand, if you look here, it has ridges. And initially I was kind of like, I don't think I like that. It was kind of weird or odd. But the other day I made lasagna, and it was awesome to cut the lasagna pieces like this, so you didn't have to use a knife, do it that way and then do the spatula. You kind of had a 2-for-1 deal with that. So I really, if for lasagna, I'm sure there's other things, maybe if you were doing, I don't know, any kind of like a breakfast omelet, and you wanted to, anything that brownies even that you're getting into, and getting a piece out, maybe even cakes as well. So I really enjoyed it. It worked out so nicely, and I was like, I love this thing. I like when you have something and I'm like, I don't want to get rid of it. You don't feel so great about it, and then later you're like, oh, it's awesome. My next 3 items are going to revolve around the colds. As I said earlier, my son, who's 3, and myself, we had horrible colds last week. He had the coughing, he had fevers, he had the runny nose action going, he had just the fatigue, and he's never been sick, he's never had an ear infection or anything like that. So it was just horrible as a parent to see him kind of go through that, and knowing that there's not a lot you can do for him to make him feel better, and you just want to take all of their symptoms and give them to yourself. And on the other hand, I also was feeling horrible. I had horrible congestion, which caused so much pain in my head. And I'm what I would consider a pretty tough person. I don't really complain about any little minor thing, and it really knocked me out hard. So a couple of things, and I'm obviously not going to talk about medicine because I'm not a doctor and I don't want to get sued, but some just other things that really helped us get through those colds I'm going to share with you. One of those is what I think is a miracle product in and of itself, and it's just coconut oil. I get mine from Vitacost, and this is the Nutiva brand. It just was like I don't know, it's one of the cheaper ones, I guess, but it's, you know, it has all, it's all of the good things. It's cold pressed, it's organic, it's versatile, it's all of those things. Non-hydrated, hydrogenated, zero trans fat, no hexane. But we didn't eat it. What we used it for, especially with my son, being a 3-year-old, he wipes his nose like, you know, how they do. And they just get it everywhere, and it just dries the skin. And really, if you try to go in with a Kleenex or anything like that, it just hurts. It really just makes the skin raw. And their lips are dry, and they're doing the licking thing and all of that. But if you use some of this on there, it does not burn. It's not adding any kind of chemicals to it whatsoever, and it's so hydrating. It's just made a huge difference. Even for myself, I had to blow my nose so many times. I'm still blowing my nose a ton. But to take some and just kind of put it there, and I even had, you know, a little scab kind of there, and I put it on there. I'll even put it in my nose a little bit. I know that might be TMI, but it really helped a lot. So I highly recommend that. It's, you know, solid at room temperature, and so you can just get a little bit out. I would use a Q-tip just to kind of keep it sanitary rather than digging in with maybe contaminated hands or what have you. But great for cooking and great for colds. The next thing, which my cat is playing with here on the floor, oddly enough, she's rather wacky. She's 20-some years old and a little on the crazy side, but is a neti pot. And I bought this a long time ago for my husband because he has horrible sinus issues. And I've tried to use it a few times before, and it just never really worked for me. For those of you that don't know, you add a little bit of salt and then some boiled or sterilized water, and you kind of put it, you know, until and the idea is that it goes up one nasal passage and kind of clears out the other side. And whenever I had done it before, I was like, it would never come out the other side, even if my nose was not clogged. So, or a couple times when I did it, I was like, oh, I feel like I'm drowning. Or the kind of, the salt that you add to it, or the saline would always, I'm like, oh, it kind of is burning my head inside a little bit. So I always hated it. But with just the congestion that I had this past week, I was really like, I'm going to try it. I'm willing to try anything just to feel a little bit better before, you know, just going the whole let's medicate myself to death. So I tried it and it worked. So it gave me like instant relief to the congestion, you know, and granted it didn't last, you know, 5 or 6 hours, but I could go and do it and just immediately be like, oh, I can breathe. And I'm still doing it now before I go to bed and when I wake up in the morning, and I'm really able to, you know, get some things out and just, release some of that pressure and just be able to breathe and everything. So I highly recommend that. Another thing which I guess would be my holy grail of products would be these wipes. I talked about them in a previous video. I can't remember what was I talking about in that video. Anyway, I said something about wipes. I got mine off of Amazon. You might be able to find them cheaper. They look like just cloths, and actually when I looked at the tag the other day, I was like, well, this one says just super absorbent microfiber towel, but one of the others wipes I have says something like automotive towel or something like that. So they are super absorbent, which is great for cleaning, but what we ended up using them for was really for my son and even myself to, disgustingly enough, blow our nose. And the package that I got has yellow and green and blue, so it was kind of color coded, like if you see a rag and it's yellow, it's Graham's. He can blow his nose on that. But he could blow his nose, or he could have it by his bed and kind of do his wiping thing or whatever he did, and it's so soft, it doesn't hurt. You throw them in the washer. I mean, you can wipe your nose and wipe your nose and wipe your nose, and it doesn't hurt. Where Kleenexes, I know they have all the lotion kind and those type of things. I think those can still hurt, or you just don't have one, or you're going through them constantly. And then I could use a different color. I could have green or whatever, and then we just threw them in the laundry, and they're all clean and ready for whatever use. Or you could designate them for, you know, like put a C on them for cold, so you're just using them for colds if that bothers you very much. But I highly recommend these. Once again, I got mine on Amazon. They just were a lifesaver, just to not, you know, in bed or whatever, and just reach over, oh, I gotta blow my nose again. Have it with you around the house. So, and for children, it was a great thing. So those were my 5 favorites for the month of February. Stay tuned and I will share my fails for the month of February coming up very soon. I hope you're having a wonderful week or weekend whenever I post this. And comment in below if there are other things that you use in your household that you think I would like, there are good ideas that you think I should try. And I will try those things out. So have a great week.